Other area which commonly comes up, for those who have some knowledge of Muslim practices and laws, is the area of two witnesses. You know, where Allah mentions in the Qur'an that if you can't find two male witnesses, you may take a male and two females. That's in Soorah al-Baqarah, verse 282. So it's there. Two female witnesses being equal to one male witness. But Allah explains there. Why? So that if one of them makes a mistake, the other one can remind her. So it is again an issue of context. An issue of the context of the society. What is the norm for male-female relations in economic relations in a society? Because this is in terms of contracts, right? Legal contracts. What is the norm? Is the norm that men and women are out working, doing the same kind of work? Or is it the norm that the man is out and working and the woman looks after the home? The norm is that the man is working and the woman looks after the home. That's the norm around the world, even till today. The vast majority of people in the world today are not like what we see here in the West, in the UK, US, Canada, so on, so where women are out working just like men. That's not the norm. This is an abnormal circumstance, which only happened after World War I and was affirmed after World War II. Prior to that, that was not a norm at all. That was abnormal. So, the point that we need to raise here is that the Islamic law covers the norm for society. In that normal society where the man is involved in business, etc., outside the home, he is familiar with economic dealings, numbers and all these kind of things he's dealing with on a constant basis. So if he has to witness in a contract to remember what took place, is much easier for him. Whereas for a woman who is normally in the home, taking care of the children, etc., not that familiar with business dealings, etc., then in her context, it would be easier for her to forget. So having two women so that one may remind the other is a reasonable principle. So that's the context. But from Islamic perspective, Islamic law, if the woman is in an area which is her specialization, for example, the area of breastfeeding, this is her specialization. If a woman gives witness, she comes to you and your wife and says, listen, I breastfed both of you. Her single witness is enough to end your marriage. Her single witness is enough to end your marriage. And it happened in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ and complained. He said, such a woman who was a former slave. So she was from the lower segment of the society. She's telling us now that, she breastfed the both of us. Should I just end my marriage based on this person's witness? Prophet ﷺ said, how can you question it when she has said it? Finish. Of course, there's a context here. It doesn't mean anybody comes out of the woodwork and just tells you, hey, you and your husband, I breastfed both of you. Nobody knows her. She is not known to the family. No. Obviously, there's a context. She is around, she's known to the family, etc., etc. So the context is there where she could definitely have done it. So where there is a supporting context, then such statements are taken as sufficient evidence to end a marriage. And you have children by that marriage. What happens? They are still your children. They're still known to be your children. But your marriage is annulled. The man is still responsible to raise and look after those children, and they may remain with the woman or go back to the man depending on their age and the decisions of the court and the children.